everybody. I'm Ann Fisher-Wirth. I tried to do this outside, but I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes because I live in Oxford, Mississippi, and it's about 95 degrees here and very muggy. So here I am inside, and I'd like to read you some poems from my book, The Bones of Winter Birds. Here's the cover. I send many thanks to Diane Lockwood for publishing my book. So the first poem I'd like to read to you is about our next door neighbors who are college students. Tenderness. When I wake, afraid, the light on the deck next door where the frat boys live, who have tumbled into sleep after much beer, and after sprinting up and down the street with their black labs, chasing frisbees, calling, "Yo, got it, man." The light they forgot to flick off after grilling burgers on the deck, just like they forget to water their yard or take their garbage cans off the street. This random, ordinary light shines among the inky trees and through the thick music of locusts and tree frogs, as if to call me home. Like a candle in the window of a fairy tale cottage at the heart of the Dunkel Dunkel Wald, or the safety I felt when I was small, when my little sister and I would sleep, legs curled around legs and heads pillowed against the door in the back seat of the green Chrysler. As our mother rested her cheek on her hand and hummed peacefully out the side window, and our father drove through the cool September night from the Tuscarora Mountains. Then I would wake groggy to see the garage light waiting for us, and one of them would carry me up to bed. And the next poem is called Yugen. It's an elegy for my mother. So I lived in Japan as a child. My dad was in the army. And Yugen is a word from no drama. It means mystery, darkness, beauty, the essence of no, in which ghosts often appear in a vision or a dream. Now you creep back into this room you love, silent, cold, with the night sea encircling, to garnets that flow from your jewelry box down the black table, small fire, and your hands unappeased. Remember the world, remembering red, before this loneliness. Now let us make it as it used to be, a room where we can sit, where we're at home. Let us unfold these strange upholstered chairs for which you made the pillows long ago. Pillows the color of wheat and amber, topaz, snowy, golden, smooth or slubbed silk. Somehow they also fold up to nothing. Let us arrange the chairs for conversation, the ones lined against the walls like chairs on an abandoned stage set, left behind when you went wherever it was. Shut down the house, shut down your breath, shut down your eyes. Sister. For my older sister, Joan. Dead-Eye Duke, they called her when she was a whack in Alabama. Today, driving by a shooting range here in the Ozarks, I thought of her. Not to brag or anything, she told us way back in the 1960s, but your sister is the best shot in the platoon. We were in awe of her. She had to make her bed so tight she could bounce a dime off the mattress. She had to wear white gloves and run her hands along the bureau. And once she had to swim fast to escape a water moccasin that came gliding from the pipe in the Fort McClelland pool. Then tonight at the restaurant, an older woman entered pushing a walker, and a younger woman followed, hanging on to the back of her pants to steady her. They sat down close to us. I watched them and remembered our sister less than a year ago, like a shrunken little elf, grinning up at us from her plate piled high with Thanksgiving dinner in the restaurant in Bend, where snow blew in furries outside. The next morning was the last time I saw her, and I knew that it would be. I turned back from the front door of the house where they cared for her and went again to her room to give her one more kiss. She was just lowering herself from her walker into her chair. We found her journal in that freezing garage after her death. I took it and glanced at the first page, shocked at the savage, cutting words, thinking, who could say that about you? Until I realized she had written it about herself. I knew 30 years before she finally told our mother, and I knew why it just never took when she wore her teal blue dress and went on dates with nice men from church. Yet because she was so private, I never could tell her, I love you just the way you are. So when I read in her journal about that woman who did not love her back, how she hated herself, despised herself for wanting that love, I was furious for her misery. Gentle sister, sweet sister, I say this now to her memory, just gentle sister, sweet sister. This is an ekphrastic poem based on a painting by George O'Keeffe about the desert. Patio with black door. 1. Adobe wall and door. 4 rhomboids of sunlight. And in the upper ledge, a wedge of sky. In Abiquiu, in August, even the lizards seek shelter when mirage shakes the desert like fever. Nothing but water and sky. Nothing holds desert at bay like the smooth, shadowed flank of this adobe. 2. Because you are far from home, you imagine shelter and tell yourself a story about inside. Apricots ripen, tawny, against the worn adobe. Carp glint like sullen flames beneath the moss-green pads of lilies. Gaunt in long black cotton, a crooked-fingered woman stitches a fight scene in the blue lace dress she sews for the statue of the Virgin. Her dog, half coyote, thumps his tail and dreams of rabbits. The old quick chase through the creosote. His lips twitch as he sprawls in a spill of sunlight. 3. Out of the earth they come, and all things gather their separate radiance. In Abiquiu, in August, flecks of quartz and mica, the least barbed quill, the ice-fine needle aureoles around the barrel cacti, leaf green, poppy red, mustard flower golden, splotches, scales, and claws of every mountain boomer blaze in this dizzying light. 4. But the door, as if a woman opened her dark dress to show you heat and tenderness and sleep, while around her viridian leaves shifted and turned in the dappled summer. The carp wait, sleepless in the moonlight. Heavy with nectar, the apricots wait. Crickets among the branches begin to chant, incessantly chafing and stirring. And you stand before the patio's dark door. Now, an homage in a way, to the summer weather here. Mississippi invocation. Come, green, fill our veins with tendrils and broad-lobed leaves. Wave as the rain approaches. Teach us the secret of swoon, exhaustion. Come, grape-petaled magnolias, scrotal figs in the crooks of branches, scarlet bells of Carolina creeper, bruised gardenias, mosses and lichens that fur the bark of oaks. Come fungi, come buzzards, this teeming is death, is teeming. The walls of our houses, the doors of our senses, dampen and soften, plunge us into sleep and deliquescence. We are sap and vine and solstice. Ooze us, rot us, make us hot and hotter. Jasmine, wisteria, twine us, ensnare us, stupefy us with your sugary blossoms. And I'll end with a little poem called Rain. So I grew up in California, and I've had the wonderful opportunity sometimes to go back there to the Jurassic residency. It's a short poem, and it's kind of dedicated to a student I had long ago who died of leukemia. And it ends with something that he said to me. Rain. I have returned to this loft among redwoods in the California mountains. Gradually, the night steadies itself around me. Outside, the tiniest rain begins to heal these desiccant hills. Rain, small, sweet rain, bringing these hills of my childhood back to tenderest green. I have carried so much fear that those I love will suffer, as they will. Pools begin to gather where quail nest in the darkness. I think we are provided for, said my dying friend when I asked him if he sensed what lies beyond pain. So thank you very much for the opportunity to read to you. Take care. Bye-bye.